I
Yes,
don't know if
there's
it's
a lot.
exciting, but there's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in the market, it could be exciting.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
thanks for being with us today, Casey. I'm
Thank
glad
you
to
for
have you
having
back
me.
on. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I want to say something before we get started.
Sure.
CU Community Credit, they have my truck, my motorcycle, my wife's car. I tell you what, some of the most fantastic people you'll
They
ever
are.
deal with over there. Stephanie, I talk to Stephanie all the time. She helps me out on whatever I need, and whether you're just you need a credit union to go to, if you just need a bank or you need to borrow money or a home loan, man, I tell you what, I can't say enough good about y'all over there.
Thank
So,
you. Appreciate it. Appreciate
That's
it. We try.
true. You
Great
know,
folks.
we've sent a lot of folks their way. Personally, I do business with them. My son does. We've got business loans for different things. We bought a vehicle the other day and did a loan through them, and they are really great to work with. So if you're
Absolutely.
looking for someone to help you out with any type of financing, yeah, you need to go see these people.
Oh, absolutely. Highly recommend them.
Yep, I do
you.
too. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
you guys are awesome.
We appreciate it. We try. That's our goal, is to make everybody happy and serve the members, and that's what we do.
That's true. Now, some of the things that's going on in the mortgage world today, you guys have actually made a change with how you handle the mortgages yourself now.
Correct. We recently just joined, it's a CUSO. It's called a CUSO, which is a group of credit unions that form together to create a service. And we have signed up with this CUSO, and because of that, we now close all the loans in our own name. It's actually serviced out of Minnesota through the CUSO. The loan that's who you'd make your payment to. But everything closes in the credit unions, in CU Community Credit Union's name. We do everything. It's been incredible in regards to having control. I don't want to sound like a control freak, but we do have that control on what happens. Oftentimes it takes anywhere from 30 to 45 days to close a loan. It's not uncommon. But with this, and it is only on conventional loans, we still offer the government loans, but this specifically is on conventional loans. And just last week I closed one in 9 business days,
Wow.
That's incredible.
which
Yes.
is quick.
Yeah.
Well, and for people who might not have gone through this process or understand, when you say that you close it in your name and CU Community Credit Union name, that means that you guys are able to make the decisions. You don't have to go out to a second party or that type of thing. Is that correct?
We
Or-
still have a out-of-office underwriter
Okay.
at the CUSO in Minnesota, so
Okay.
they still underwrite the file. The good thing about that, though, is since they are the ones, they sell directly to Fannie Mae. So because of them selling directly to Fannie Mae, they only have Fannie Mae's guidelines. Where oftentimes, if you go through a larger entity or institution, say a large bank or something like that, they also have their guidelines, and they also have Fannie Mae's guidelines. Well, by just having Fannie Mae's guidelines, it's so streamlined, and in reality, Fannie Mae's guidelines are very forgiving. There's not a lot of guidelines there. I mean, they do have their basic guidelines, like your income and your, so
Sure.
on and so forth. But we don't have 2 separate sets of guidelines to meet. We have 1 set of guidelines to meet.
So then you just have to make one entity happy instead of 2 or 3.
Exactly.
And well, that's got to be simpler all the way around.
Yes, it is. And it's been great. We have a mortgage processor now, and that's been wonderful. It's, that also helps streamline the process, too, by having somebody that the member deals with directly. It's basically her throughout the process. And she bundles up the file, ships it off, gets whatever conditions. Usually it's literally 3 or 4 conditions is all it is. We get those within a day or 2, and it's done. And then we create all our closing docs, so we have control of that. We don't have a closing department to worry about. The processor, myself, we do all that with the documents and everything like that.
And for people who haven't gone through the loan process before, to have someone local that you can walk down and go into their office and sit down and talk to them is a huge big deal.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
We've had our loans purchased through other people have bought our loans and stuff, and it has become. I have been through 2 different nightmare scenarios where someone has bought our mortgage. I didn't ask them to buy my mortgage, but they did, and then all of a sudden they want all of this documentation and all this proof of this and that and the other, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And you're dealing with someone at 800 number. You're getting potluck, whoever answers the phone,
Yeah.
and it can be very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that you're right here local, that they can come down. They know who you are. They're going to know your name. You're going to know them, and you're going to be able to take care of those situations.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have all this other nightmarish stuff that can happen. So we have a caller already.
Yes, we do. Let's talk to Sharon down in Stone County. Go ahead, Sharon.
Hi. Could you tell me if credit unions have their own insurance entity, like the FDIC covers banks? Do credit unions have their own insuring entity?
Actually, yes, we do. We have the NCUA, the National Credit Union Association. They have the exact same guidelines as FDIC. They actually, the insurance, like on accounts and stuff, the accounts, just like FDIC, are insured up to $250,000. It is really no difference whatsoever.
Okay, I have one more question. I don't know if you can answer this or not.
Okay.
If a bank holiday was declared, do the credit unions, are they bound by the same regulations as the banks?
It really, not necessarily, no. There are some bank holidays that we do work. And
No, hon, I'm not
Okay.
talking about like the 4th of July and that kind of thing. I'm saying that if there was a situation where the government decided for economic reasons to shut the bank like for 2-3 days, would the credit unions also be closed?
no, not at all. That is
They would not.
No, that is complete separation. That is where we are completely separate.
Well, you know, I am at a bank now. I bank in a bank, and I have been thinking about going to a credit union, and you have just made my decision.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for calling in today, Sharon. Those are some great questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good question.
You know, that's some things that maybe not everyone thought about, but, you know, and people are concerned about the security of their accounts and that type of thing. But what they need to understand with credit unions is that they still have all the securities and stuff there as a bank, but with not as stringent as guidelines as far as being able to get things done.
Exactly. We are. That is the one thing that is different. We are a non-for-profit organization. A credit union is. We're not for profit. So that is where we are able to focus more on our members, and we call them members because you do own part of the credit union. You're not a shareholder or anything. There's no shareholders. It's everybody that puts their money in. They are a part of the credit union. And because we aren't, and we don't focus on profits, it allows us to disperse that savings amongst other things like cheaper loan rates, so on and so forth. So that is the huge difference between a credit union and a bank, is basically being the nonprofit and being able to pass that savings along to everybody within the credit union.
Speaking of interest rates and that type of thing, the interest rates on loans are starting to move up just a little bit. Isn't that correct?
They are creeping up. On our auto loans and things, no. We basically, I mean, I think I've been there for a little over 6 years now. I've seen our auto rates change one time.
You probably have the best auto rates of anybody I've ever seen ever. We've got we bought one last year through you, and then I bought one this year and financed it with you guys. And I think my son bought one personally and different things. I know that Mark, you bought your motorcycle through them, and
My
you
truck.
and your truck,
My
yeah.
truck, yeah.
So if you are looking at buying a vehicle, either new or used,
Yeah,
correct?
definitely.
Then you need to go to CU Community Credit Union.
Right.
What I had my daughter bought a vehicle, and she actually had it set up, and they financed it at the dealership, and she did this without talking to me. And so when I found out what was going on, I said, okay, you are going to go see Stephanie at CU Community Credit Union. They refinanced her brand new vehicle, saved her a lot of money
Yeah.
between the dealership and them. And so even if you have one financed now, even if it's been a month or 2 months, you can still go down.
Oh, definitely.
So don't think that you're stuck in a finance
That's right.
situation on a vehicle. You're not.
Exactly. A lot of people don't realize that you can refinance a vehicle.
Yes.
I run into that quite often. Recently, I've had a couple of friends that they had a car loan. They owed a small balance on it. They needed to do some home repairs. Well, rather than going ahead and doing like a home equity or something like that, it's much easier and cheaper to do a car loan if you can get enough
Yes.
equity out of your car. And so a lot of people don't realize that you can actually do a cash out refinance on your automobile. I mean, that is not uncommon at all.
And at really good rates. So that's something that we haven't talked about before, and that just popped into my head because I actually did that with my daughter, and she was very happy. I can't remember the difference now in the rates, but it was during one of those times where you had the scratch off thing and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And so whatever the rate was, she scratched off 2%. Of course, she's really lucky. So then it was knocked down another 2%. So it saved her a substantial amount of money. And she hadn't even made her first payment yet.
Yeah, Yeah.
So you can refinance your car at any point in time on your loan. So don't think that just because you just bought it that you're stuck with your dealership or wherever you finance it. You are not stuck.
Right. Absolutely.
And we actually have another promo going on right now that's similar to the scratch off, not quite the same, but it is you can get 1/4% off for a new service that you actually opt into. Because basically at the credit union you're only required to have a savings account.
Correct.
That's it. But different things like if you want to set your loan up on an automatic payment, you get 1/4% off. You can do a balance transfer to CU Community Credit Union, like the Visa cards, because we do offer Visas that are basically directly handled through the credit union. You get 1/4% off for that. If you want to do a debit card, use your debit card. And actually, our debit cards also have a 1% cash back, which is not very. You don't see that hardly any these days, especially
Not on a debit.
card.
Yeah, not on debit cards.
Exactly. So if you sign up for that, you get 1/4% off, and you can get all the way up to 1% off. And a direct deposit, which these days, who doesn't have a direct deposit?
Sure.
So if you set up, if you qualify, and if you opt into either one of those, like say you do 4 of those items that I just mentioned, you get a full % off of your next consumer loan, auto loan, motorcycle loan, whatever.
That's
There you-
great.
That
you
is
know?
great. That is
Yeah.
great. And if you haven't done anything in the financing world lately, you're probably gonna be surprised because
yeah.
rates are going up on different things. And the other thing is how old of a vehicle will you guys finance?
No minimum whatsoever.
See, and that's something else that you will run into with a lot of other institutions. They will only finance a vehicle maybe if it's over 5 years old. They don't want to touch it.
Right.
Exactly.
And I knew the answer to that because I have just financed a 2004 with
Okay.
you guys. So I knew that you didn't have a limit, but I just want to get that out there for folks. If you're looking to buy a used car and you're having trouble getting financing through another institution because it's like they won't finance one that old, CU Community Credit Union will help you.
Yeah. And you know what I think's really cool? They will take and they will, like so many places, they look at that credit score and if you're not where they think you ought to be, they don't even talk to you.
Right.
CU will sit down, they'll talk to you, and you may not get as good of interest rate.
Correct.
But at least they look at you as a person and your history and how you've done other than just that credit score. And I think that's really neat.
Yeah, we do more of a common sense lending is what I
Right,
call
yeah.
it. I mean, we understand people go through hard
Sure.
times, especially these
Sure.
days, losing jobs, divorces,
Health
anything
issues,
like that.
all
Health
kinds of
issues,
things.
Exactly.
Sure.
So we understand that, and we, like you said, the interest rate might not be as good, but we're not going to decline you a loan because your credit score is down here instead of
Right.
up here. That doesn't
Yeah.
matter to us.
Yeah. So that's just almost unheard of.
It is
nowadays.
unheard
And that
of.
that makes you feel good. When I walk in over there to make my truck payment or whatever, I feel good about doing it because they've took great care of me. They're
Yeah.
nice and they make you feel like you're a valuable person and you are to them. And that's how I like that. That's cool.
And I think that's a big difference between you being nonprofit and someone else who has shareholders and has to make all these people that own their stock happy and they want dividends and this, that, and the other. Then they look at everything as numeric
Yeah.
Yes,
and not human.
exactly.
So that's the big difference. And you guys are local. You've got how many branches now?
Now we just merged with what was Southwest Credit Union, so we actually increased our size by 40% at the end of last year. So we have been on a branch on Benton at the corner of Chestnut and Benton. I work at the branch on Republic Road. We have one in the over by Cox Hospital, right in Cox Hospital.
Okay.
We have one over on Elfindale, and then we actually have it for sale. And we've already bought the property, and we're building a branch at the corner of Fort and Sunshine.
Oh, wow.
So see, they're going to have lots of locations no matter where you're at in Springfield. There's going to be an easy location for you to get to.
Exactly.
I go to the one on Benton quite a bit because I'm right off of Chestnut, but I've also been to the one in Republic Road, and it does not matter which one of these you go to. The people are very friendly, very helpful, and if you haven't ever been to visit them, I encourage you to go and just talk to someone and see what they can offer you. A lot of people kind of get freaked out about the membership thing,
Yeah.
but it's not that big a deal. It's very, very simple, and they'll help you get through all that if you're concerned about that part of it, but you don't need to be.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not a big deal at all.
It really isn't. It is like you're just a customer in a sense, but we call it member because, like I said, you are part owner in the credit union. Those savings are passed on to you. So basically, all we do is you open up your savings account with $25. That $25 must stay in the account at all times. while you're a member, and that's it. It's really not that big of a deal at all.
And there's a lot of things in Springfield you can become a member of, all kinds of organization stuff. I have never been a member of anything for $25.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
always more than $25. So, and then the other things that I'm members of don't give me good interest rates on financing anything. So
They usually cost you money.
yeah, it usually costs money. So whenever you're thinking about that, don't let the membership thing get you all upset or anything, because
Flustered.
it's because it's $25. And you put it in a savings account, and then now you have the ability to do any kind of business with them that you want to, whether
Exactly.
it's a mortgage, a car, motorcycles, boats, whatever it is that you want to do. I would like for you to send me on a vacation. Can we work that out,
We'll
Casey?
see what we can get you a loan for a vacation.
Oh yeah,
Mary.
okay. No, I don't think I want to do that, but thanks anyway.
Okay.
So, if someone wants to come in, and let's talk a little bit more about the mortgage applications.
Okay.
What is the first thing someone would need to do? Do they need to get pre-qualified?
Always get pre-qualified. Definitely on a purchase. I mean, and oftentimes it works two different ways. Sometimes people like to go look at houses and then get pre-qualified. In reality, it's
That
better.
can be disappointing.
It can, exactly, because you might be looking at $200,000 houses and only pre-qualify for $150,000.
Right.
So oftentimes, and most real estate agents these days, they're telling people to go get pre-qualified because they understand that too. They've been in the business. So it is always important, if you're looking to buy a home, to go get pre-qualified first. That is the most important thing.
About how long does that take?
Depending on how busy I am. No, I usually do it. I try to do it within 24 hours.
Oh, that's quick.
When my processor and I are there together, like I said, she's got her hands on those files, and I really don't have to touch them at all, and it's wonderful. But when she's there doing all that paperwork and verifying employment and all that stuff, that takes a lot of time. I can usually get to it right then and there. I try to. So
Wow, that's pretty good. 24 hours. That's a quick
yeah,
turnaround.
Yeah, so that's my goal. Like I said, since we've got everything set up, since we've changed everything, that is always my goal, is to do it within 24 hours. And it's a simple process. I usually just collect some simple income information.
Sure.
If they're like a W-2 employee, just give me your pay stubs and some W-2s. And that pretty much tells me what your income is right there.
Right.
Run your credit report, see what kind of debts you have. And I basically pre-qualify you off your debt-to-income ratio and your credit score. That's what a pre-qualification is.
And you
Pretty
touched
simple.
you touched on something there. With me being a real estate agent, yes, it is so important for a person to go and get pre-qualified, because there's nothing worse than on my side and the client's side to go out and look at houses that are out of their price range. They see these things, and it's hard for them to
Back down.
and so yeah, get pre-qualified. I've got to the point I won't hardly show a house
Exactly.
unless they are.
I know, and I've noticed that change within the last probably 2 years.
Yeah.
Because used to, I had people bring me a contract before. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I've had it happen, and
Yeah.
so it is kind of scary. But that has changed a lot over the last couple of years with different rates, programs, guidelines. Those have all changed a lot, and we're
Yep.
getting ready to see some bigger changes that people aren't aware of yet. Really, I mean, there's going to be a lot of changes coming within the next 5 years. So
I'm sure that's true. I can
it
imagine.
is. There's a bill in legislation right now. They're trying to do away with Fannie and Freddie Mac.
I heard about that.
So that's going to change a lot of things. If they do that, they've already talked about the Federal Housing Administration being involved in it, and what they would do to them is they would require them to require a bigger down payment. So right now it's at 3.5%. Right now they're saying, well, we want it to be at least 5%.
Okay.
They're going to basically try to privatize them more, so they're not. The government doesn't have as much. It doesn't, and it is somewhat true. Taxpayers are at risk right now with the Fannie and Freddie Mac because they are in the government, and that is their goal, is to reduce the taxpayers. To keep them from being at risk. So it doesn't affect the taxpayers if something were to happen in the housing market, which did happen. A few years ago.
Right.
So I see both sides of it. It is going to hurt on the mortgage side from my end because it is going to be tougher to pre-qualify people. It is going to be, right now we have a 100% program. We have two different programs that require, one requires 3.5% down, one requires 3% down. Those are going to be gone. So it's going to be a little rough. It really is, and it's going to be Luckily, it's not back to where it was in the late 70s, early 80s when you had to have 20% down, and
Right.
you were lucky to get a 30-year fixed. It was usually an ARM or something like that, an adjustable rate.
Yeah.
And rates were, it was not uncommon back then, from what I hear from my parents, that it was like 14, 15%.
We had a 14%. Yeah.
Exactly.
30 years on a $40,000 house. That's nuts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But that was a good deal back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got to take a quick break, and we'll be back shortly with some more home repairs and solutions.
Here's news on the Ozarks News Network. A holdup at a credit union near Missouri State University has police looking for a suspect. The man walked into the facility near Grand and National wearing a mask, sunglasses, and latex gloves. He threatened a clerk, demanded money, and escaped in a silver-colored car. A man from Monette is under arrest following a nearly 12-hour manhunt near Bodark. 67-year-old Howard Perryman is accused of numerous thefts of cattle and farm equipment in the area. Deputies from 7 counties and the State Highway Patrol used a helicopter, dogs, and metal detectors to find Perryman in an area near Highway 160 and UU. And online travel giant Expedia has announced that it's adding some 100 more people to its Springfield workforce. They're planning a job fair on July 30th at the Hilton Garden Inn. Since 2001, Expedia has hired some 850 employees in Springfield. For the Ozarks News Network, I'm Arlen Summers.
Who's got ribs? And not just any ribs, the best tasting, succulent, juiciest, fall off the bone ribs you've ever tasted before. Haagen Sauce. That's right, Haagen Sauce in the Southern Hill Shopping Center, where this Friday only, get a delicious, mouth-watering half rack of barbecued smoked ribs for just $9.95. Haagen Sauce. Barbecue smoked ribs all day Friday for just $9.95. Where? Haagen Sauce. On East Sunshine in the Southern Hill Shopping Center, or online at HaagenSauce.com. Don't forget, this Friday, a $9.95 half rack of ribs only at Haagen Sauce on East Sunshine, Springfield.
Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with arthritis? If so, a local physician is conducting a research study in your area, and you may be eligible to receive up to $50 compensation per office visit. Call toll-free 855-859-PAIN or visit painfreestudy.com to see if you qualify. You may receive no-cost study-related medical care, arthritis medication, and up to $50 per visit in compensation. Visit painfreestudy.com, painfreestudy.com, or call 855-859-PAIN, 855-859-7246, and receive up to $50 per visit in compensation. Call 855-859-PAIN, 855-859-PAIN, 855-859-7246, or visit painfreestudy.com today.
It's here. The Big Deal Store is online and waiting for you to shop and buy gift certificates to local businesses. Go to our station website, newstalk560.com, and click on Big Deals. Here you'll find dozens and dozens of gift certificates from places like CNC Farm and Home, El Puente, Good Old Billiards, and Frida's Uptown Cafe. You can shop and buy 24 hours a day and save a ton of money in the process. But you better hurry. You'll never know how long each deal will last.
Aliens aren't coming, the government isn't watching your every move, and Honey Boo Boo just isn't that important. Don't get scared. Get prepared with Bob Gaskin on the Black Dog Survival Hour, Tuesday afternoon at 3 on KWTO AM 560. No conspiracies, just the facts. It's a fun, fast-paced, informative hour you won't want to miss. The Black Dog Survival Hour with Bob Gaskin, Tuesdays at 3 p.m. on KWTO AM 560. The talk of the Ozarks.
Partly to mostly sunny today, high 88, and mainly clear tonight, low 61. Mostly sunny tomorrow and Sunday with a high tomorrow of 84 and a high Sunday of 87. Then Monday, partly sunny skies with a thunderstorm possible, high 89. Then an afternoon shower or thunderstorm possible Tuesday, high 91. I'm AccuWeather's Kevin Snyder.
Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home Repairs and Solutions.
And you're listening to Home Repairs and Solutions with Mark and Mary, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air Heating and Air Conditioning, your local Amana dealer. And once again, with the second half of the show, Mary Pearson and Mark Withers.
You know, I'm sitting here wondering what state of mind I was in when I wrote that years and years ago. Bats in my head.
I don't know. I kind of wondered about that too. I thought, I didn't know you back then, but it might have been an interesting, interesting thing.
It kind of
So
makes
you
me
wrote it
wonder.
about sometime about midnight. You wrote the thing about that. I'll write that.
It could, yeah, it could have been.
I don't know, but it's a cool song. I like it.
It's been around for a while now.
It's been around for a long time. It has longevity, Mark.
It has longevity. I just wished it had big royalties, but it doesn't.
Well, we can always hope.
We
always
can.
hope. You know, usually those come after you're gone.
Well, you
So
know.
you can just defer that to me if you would like to do that.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, I haven't. My songwriting. You know, I did have a number one song on the Christian country charts.
I know,
back-
and I never heard that.
And I never got anything for it either. So
Well, what's up with that? You didn't even get a CD?
no.
Okay, I
mean,
need. Give me the name of your agent. I'll make a phone call.
Yeah, I don't care about the CD. I want a check. I don't care if it's but 50 cents. I want a check.
We'll talk.
you know.
I'll get the number. I'll call him. I'll be your agent.
Oh well.
I'll collect,
All righty, I'll hire you.
and I might not be back on the show ever after that. But you never
Oh,
know.
I got a feeling that it won't be that much you'll collect. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm safe then.
Oh, you're safe. Yeah. Yeah. for
Well,
sure.
you are listening to Home Repairs and Solutions. You know, we never gave out our phone number.
We didn't, and that's something that we definitely need to do. 862-9977, 1-800-375-0056, or if you want to send us a text message, since we are high tech around here, you can do that at 417-838-3192.
I will let you know Mark has some sort of newfangled
I got a new
phone, so
phone.
we'll see if he can retrieve a text message
Yeah.
off of it.
Yeah.
That might be fun too, but
It might
we'll
be.
give it a shot. Well, we are talking to Casey Cooper with CU Community Credit Union, and we've been talking about all kinds of things. Another thing I think is interesting is if you haven't dealt with a credit union, people don't realize all of the services you can provide, and we've talked about a few of them like loans and mortgages and that type of thing, but you have other things going on as well that you can help folks with.
I tell everybody, we have everything that you can imagine. We have automatic bill pay, so you can get on. That's how I pay all my bills. I go on to our website at CU Community Credit Union, which is actually mycucommunitycreditunion.com or mycucommunity.com. I go on there. That's how I pay all my bills. It actually just sends an electronic check straight to the creditor, or actually I can withdraw it from your account. You can set it up where it does it every month, like a house payment or car payment, so you don't even have to worry about it. So we do have that service. Of course, we have all the loans. We a very kind of our unspoken, in my opinion, it's like a little secret, and it's not brought out very much. But we do have a Visa a Visa credit card that we service in house. It doesn't go anywhere. All the servicing stays there at the credit union. The great thing about the Visa is it's 9.5% is the rate. I mean, it doesn't go up or down or all around. It's been 9.5% since we've got them. And so that, to me, that is huge these days when you see credit cards at 18%, 24%. 9.5% is nothing at all. Another important thing on it is if you were to rent a vehicle, if you're going on vacation, it covers rental insurance.
That is a big deal.
So you don't have to worry about buying their rental insurance. I used to work for a rental car company,
And that's how they make a lot of money.
They make a lot of money,
You
and
bet.
it costs an arm and a leg.
You bet.
And also emergency card replacement. We've sent cards to people immediately if they're on vacation overseas. That's huge if you lose your card. You need one pretty much
Yeah, you do.
the next day,
Yeah,
if
you
not
do.
before, but usually we can get it back to you the next day. It helps reestablish your credit. I mean, it's huge to help you reestablish your credit if you've had any credit issues. Granted, your balance may not be huge if you're reestablishing your credit, but there again, where do you find a 9.5% unsecured debt if your credit's not where it should be, or
Right.
your credit's not where you want it to be? Another very, very important thing that is unheard of is we have no cash advance or balance transfer fees, none. So if you come to the credit union and you say, I need $50 off my Visa card, we hand you $50, and there's no fees whatsoever to it. So there again, something that's unheard of through larger entities is that no paying. There's no fees for the cash advance.
Yeah, I've never heard of that anywhere.
So to me, those things are, and then of course there's also travel insurance on it up to $250,000. I mean, hopefully you don't need that much travel insurance, but if you do, it's there.
Wow.
I mean, for lost luggage, so on and so forth. So there again, like I said, it's kind of our unheard.
I would
of
lose my
secret.
luggage if I could get $250,000.
I don't think you'd get the full 250, but
Oh, just saying. Okay.
we'd probably look more at replacement cost on that one. But it's kind of our unheard of. They're not our unheard of little secret. I mean, they're a great product. They really are. I have one myself. I use it quite often, and I mean, like, there's no annual fees. You don't get charged anything. I mean, it's
And that 9.5% is for everybody?
if you have a 640 credit score or better, it's 9.5.
Okay.
If it's below a 640, it's 13.9. We have a classic and then the platinum. The platinum is the better rate. The classic is the lower rate, but still 13.9. I mean, a lot of people walking around here these days with great credit are paying more than 13.9.
Yeah, they are. And if you have any kind of retail credit cards, like I've had a Penny's card for ever since Penny's was born, I think, or something like that. But, I looked at it the other day, and I always just pay off the balance. But I looked at it, a Penny's card now, my Penny's card is like 24.9%. I about died. I looked at it and I thought, holy cow, who in the world can afford that? If you don't pay it off every month, you're paying, that blouse you got for $10 just cost you $50.
Yeah.
So that is an excellent rate. And if people, pay attention to what your rates are, because they change pretty often.
Right.
So to have a card that's going to be pretty consistent would be.
And that seems to be the way it is. A lot of us will get a card. And, oh, yeah, hey, I got a Sears card, a Penny's card, whatever, and we never look to see what we're paying. We go buy something, and the bill comes, and we pay the minimum or whatever, and just go on, not think about it. If you'd really look at some of that stuff, you'd just like, oh, my.
Yeah. You really need to be aware of that. And they change that stuff on you, too.
Oh, they'll change it on you, yeah.
Yeah. So you need to be careful about that.
Yeah.
So this one, will stay pretty much consistent.
It's been consistent since we've had them.
That's pretty amazing. And below 10% for unsecured is really, really good.
Definitely.
Really good. Now you guys have something else going on, and I've been kind of following on Facebook, but I do not know. I cannot figure this out. So you need to explain it to me and all your listeners. But they have this thing called Cash Mob.
Yes.
And you guys are like just giving money to people, or how's this working?
Pretty much. That's what it comes down to.
I just want to know where I'm supposed to be next to get some of that.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll see. You got to follow us on Facebook.
I'm trying, and I still can't figure out where to be.
Well, basically, it kind of came from the idea of a flash mob. I don't know if you've seen those internet crazes about, 2 years ago or so, where people just started in downtown New York City would just start breaking out in a dance and just...
Or song or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There'd be 40, 50 people doing it. We have been going around Springfield. We usually try to do it, and of course, the holidays kind of mess us up, like last week. But we go around someplace every Friday. We try to keep it all local to local businesses and so on and so forth, and we just show up and give people cash in a sense. We give them gift cards, is what we do. It's kind of like, for instance, the last one I did, we did at the Pizza House. We just ramsacked the place at 12 o'clock. And it's funny to see people's reactions.
I'm sure.
Because I'll just go in and sit beside somebody sitting in their booth and say, here's a gift card. I'll buy your lunch. And so I bought them their lunch. I gave them a Pizza House gift card for $10, bought them their lunch. And they were looking at me like, what is going on?
You're
here?
nuts. Yeah.
And we've done it at Mama Jean's. We sat out there one evening about 5:30. $20 gift cards, people walking in, we're like looking at it and like, what is going on here? It's just a $20 gift card. We just want people to enjoy. We're just kind of trying to spread a happy spirit amongst everybody, enjoy this, just have fun. And of course, at the same time, we're trying to get the word out about credit unions and what credit unions are about.
Sure.
And that's what it is passing along savings.
Now, when you guys do that, are you wearing this shirt like you have on today?
We are wearing
So
these.
you're identified and people don't think you're just some crazy nut off the street?
Exactly. Well, they
That's
still
a
look.
good plan. I mean, they still think you're crazy, but they do. You have like this green shirt on that says "CU Cash Mob Random Acts of Cash." So if you see someone with one of those shirts, follow them today. They're going to give out some money.
Just a little hint, there is a new release out today. It's called 20 Feet from Stardom. It is showing at a theater downtown. So maybe if you want to go out for a dinner and a movie tonight, maybe you need to look and see where we'll be.
And you can do this on Facebook. You kind of give hints of where you're going to be. Is that how this works?
We give hints throughout the week, and they're really broad at first. You know, we want people to think about it.
Okay.
And then as it closer to time, it's more and more obvious. Like that what I just said on the new release, that was the
Okay.
last post on Facebook.
Okay. And so if people want to follow this, they need to go to Facebook and go to CU Community Credit Union. Is that correct?
You can go to CU Community Credit Union and go from there, or you can just go to CCU Cash Mob.
Oh, okay. And then you want to like that page.
Like that page.
And then you'll be able to follow all the hints and stuff they're giving for this free money.
Wow.
I'm all about free money.
Yeah.
I told
Yeah.
I told you know where I'm at. Just bring me the money where I'm at.
Okay, yeah,
That'd be
let's
easy
see.
for me.
Well, see, I think they should give some hints and stuff, and I'll, be at Spring Mountain Air
Yeah.
and have people come by. Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
there we
you
go.
Yeah.
There we go. And then I could just sit there and I wouldn't have to leave my office and people could come and say hi and he could give
Yeah.
me money.
Exactly. Just hand
That'd
out
work good
money.
for me.
Yeah.
But no, it's a pretty neat little campaign that we've got going on. It's a group of volunteer employees. We're all employees that are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere from 5 to 10 employees go out and do this random thing.
That would
And,
just be tons of fun.
It really
That's
is.
gotta
It-
be fun.
It really is a blast. And the most fun thing is to see people's reactions.
Sure.
Just like, who are you? What are you? And like I said, the funniest thing is just when you go sit right beside them. They're
Yeah.
looking at you like,
Who are you?
But-
Taking French fries off their plate.
no, I haven't gone that far. Haven't quite gone that far yet. But it is something that we really enjoy doing, and we've started doing it. We're going to continue to do it as long as we have good feedback, and we've had great feedback so
I'll
far.
bet you have. And see, that's another thing. That's what happens when you deal with people on a local level.
That's right.
And that's what we talk about on this show all the time. Support your local businesses. I have not seen a big name financial institution giving money to anybody ever.
Yeah.
So this is something that I think is a really fun thing. Get you out in the community, make somebody happy. And like you said, a $20 gift card, if someone's out having dinner and that buys their dinner, hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a neat deal.
Exactly.
So that's some fun things that they have going on. Now, your phone number, if someone calls you, is there just a main number and then they can be sent to any of your locations? Or what's your main number?
Yeah, exactly. Our main number is, of course, 417-865-3912. Just dial that. You'll get an operator, and they can transfer you to whomever you need to talk to. If you want to talk about a car loan, just say you want to talk to somebody in the loan department. Mortgage, have them ask for me.
Casey Cooper's his name.
There we go. And so on and so forth. If you have questions on accounts, we have several people. We have new accounts employees. We have lead tellers that'll be more than happy to help you out. Actually, believe it or not, in my opinion, our tellers are some of the most knowledgeable tellers that you'll find anywhere, and I guarantee they can answer your question.
Oh yeah, they can. I've gone into the Benton location several times to do different things, and it doesn't matter who I work with. They know what's going on. They know what I need, and they help me, and they're very efficient, and they're very friendly, and they always ask me, is there anything else we can help you with today? I mean, they're just very accommodating. Not like some who act like they're frustrated that you're there and you're bothering them. I've never had that situation at CU Community Credit Union.
No, we're very used to people just walking in. That's part of us. That's part of our
I don't need an appointment. I didn't have to have an appointment.
Exactly.
I just walked in and just said, this is what I need, and they're very happy to take care of that.
Yes.
So,
but when you call that number, you're going to get a live person. You're not going to
Yes.
get a voicemail. You're not going to have to hit 0 3 or 4 times. and
that's
then
the other
one.
thing I like about you guys. Yeah, a real person answers the phone, and that's not very common anymore
No,
either.
it really isn't.
So, and something else, and I'll just plug Spring Mountain Air here. But we came down to you guys. It was probably over a year ago, and talked to you about financing our clients.
Yes.
That need a heating and air conditioning system. A lot of times when those break down, not everyone has cash sitting there in the sock drawer to pay for a complete system. And we found that people were having a little bit of issue getting a loan for that. And you guys have worked out a program with us, and we've sent several clients to you, and you've been very accommodating in helping them get financing for a new heating and air conditioning system as well. So it doesn't matter what you need, what you're looking for, what your situation is. Go talk to them and tell them what's going on, and they will find a way, if at all possible, to help
Right.
you.
Yes.
They are just so accommodating in lots of different areas, and not every financial institution that you go to and say, I need to borrow X amount of dollars, I need to put a new heating and air conditioning system. Not everyone wants to do that. They want you to get a second on your house. They want you to do this and that and the other, and tie up this or tie up that, or give you their car title, or I don't know, all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah.
And that's not what you have to do at the credit union at all. I would say a lot of people get paid on Friday.
Yes.
And if you're getting paid today and you're not happy with your financial institution or anything that we said sounds good to you and you think you want to become a part of that, take your check to CU Community Credit Union, open your account today. You're a member today.
Yeah.
And you can take advantage of all of these services that they have that they can provide for you.
Exactly.
Well, it's easy for me and you to sit here and talk about them because we're both,
Yes, we've used them,
We've
yes.
used them, and but I'm telling you, if you want a great experience, you need to go see them because just like yesterday, I was talking with a lady that I'd sold the house to, and she's like, "I got to buy my daughter a car. She just turned 16, and we're trying to figure out." I don't want to go to one of these places that, the finance, where they'll finance you right there and everything. And I said, hey, listen, there's no other choice.
That's
But
right.
where to go? I said, they'll figure out a way to help you.
Yes, they will.
And so anyway, she's going to come down and see you guys.
Good deal.
And,
What I have found with you guys is you are really willing to work with people on terms and length of time. And I know that you can't finance someone indefinitely, but you're able to help people a lot of times if they can afford this much a month. I know we had a client that had to put in a furnace and she didn't have all the money and she could only afford $100 a month. And it wasn't going to be for a long period of time because she did have some money to put down, but you guys were willing to do that for her where I don't think anybody else in town would have done that for her because of her age and her limited income and that type of thing. And financially, she wasn't in the best situation, but she called me after she got you guys paid off and she was so tickled. She said, I just want to thank you again for sending me to them. She said, I made my final payment to them today. And she just told me over and over how nice you guys were to her. You guys really went above and beyond because at that time she had a broken arm, couldn't drive, couldn't come in.
Yeah.
And Stephanie actually went to her and took the paperwork to her. I mean, they are so accommodating. I just can't say enough
Right.
about you guys.
That is our goal. That we try our best to, meet everybody's needs, and that's our goal always. It always has been, and it always will be. That's the good thing about a credit union.
Yep. So bank with someone local. We talk about using local contractors and,
Right.
and local people, but think whatever you do in life here in Springfield, think about who the local person is that can supply that service to you.
Sure.
And this is another one that you might not think of all the time. You might not think of them as being local and maybe you've banked, with XYZ Bank for 20 years or whatever. That's okay, but go check these guys out.
Right.
You're going to get excellent service. Nothing is any more frustrating to me than to have to call someone and dial an 800 number and you get Jose or whoever and I'm nobody to them.
Right.
Where I can go into any of your branches, walk in, they know me. I'm a face-to-face person. I'm of the generation where I want to talk to someone. I want to look at you. I want to shake your hand and I want to know that you have my best interest
Right.
at heart and that I'm not just, oh gosh, the phone's ringing again. I wonder what it is this time. Kind of thing.
And that's the benefit of what we have to offer too, is because you are a face-to-face person. I mean,
I am.
and there are a lot of people like that. But we have all those other features like the online banking and stuff for
Yes,
people that are not.
that are not.
And they just rather do their stuff privately and not be known and, just
Sure.
kind of do everything behind the scenes. And so we offer all that. We have all that. That is the one thing that people don't quite, I think they think small town don't have a lot of options. The small town institutions, we have everything that any kind of large entity does. I mean, like I said, the online banking, any type of loan, there's not one thing that we don't have that they might have.
Here's a quick question for you because we're going to have to wrap it up here, but do you have any kind of form like online that if someone's looking for a loan that they can fill out online? Do you have any online applications?
Yes. Go to our website, which is www.mycucommunity.com. There's an online loan application there for mortgage, for car. You can even open up an account there. So go do that if you are ready to open up your account there at the CU Community Credit Union, and we'll get you opened up and you'll
So
be
that's
part
for
of the
all,
family.
That's for all the high-tech people that like
That's
to do
right.
stuff on it. Not me. I get in the car and I go down there, but that's just me. But, there are a lot of people who don't do that.
It's amazing the amount of people who don't do computers, are the fancy phones and all this and that. They still do it the old time way, and that's you can't do that with some of these big places that you guys are. When you're walking down the street, you're going to meet somebody that you've dealt with on the street, and
Right.
you want to know that, hey, they recognize me as being from CU Community
Right.
Credit. Man, they did me a good job, or say hi or whatever. You don't, if you're dealing with somebody in California or New York, they don't care.
Yeah, you're not going to
never
have
gonna-
that face-to-face.
No, but you're dealing with local folks here that you're going to see at the ball games, you're going to see at the mall or whatever.
Well, we're coming up on closing here, but there's a lot of people that's going to be at lunch here shortly.
Yep.
And if you're at lunch and you're thinking about doing this, and you want to go online and check them out and see what they have to
Sure.
offer, go online. There's like Casey said, there's an application there. You can take care of it during your lunch hour.
Yeah,
If you want to do something, if you want to apply for a loan, if you want to see about opening a checking account, if you want to get the credit card, how do you go about getting your credit
You
card?
can actually apply online for the credit card.
There you go. So there you go. Do yourself a favor at lunch today. Check them out and go ahead and get some of these great benefits they have to offer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And these great rates. So
Yep. Got to do it.
it's easy.
It is.
really
That's
is.
right.
Yeah.
It's
try to
easy.
make it easy.
It's easy. Online or go down and meet them in person. Either
Yep.
way, it's all good. So,
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
well, we have about 2 minutes left. What do you got going on this weekend?
Well, this evening we have our monthly GOBS Jam, Greater Ozarks Bluegrass Society. We're doing workshops. Tonight we got some different musicians coming in, and really good musicians to help with mandolin, fiddle, guitar, whatever. So that'll be tonight. We're continuing doing our TV tapings and stuff too.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good. I was going to ask you how that
And,
was going.
Yeah, it's going great. And then the rest of the weekend, I'm hoping to maybe ride the motorcycle tomorrow.
That would be
So,
great.
yeah.
That'd be great. You just have to put on the schedule, Mark.
Just got to do it.
you just have to
Yeah.
schedule
Yeah.
it in there.
Yeah. So
So, yep. Well, I'm going to go to the lake and stay with some of my friends. I'm still going down there, even though I really can't stay in my home right now. But I have some friends down there, and so I'm hoping that I get to go for a long boat ride tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be nice.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Good
yeah.
Hope to get out on the boat and do some boat riding and some swimming and just kind of relax a
Yep.
little bit.
That sounds fun.
Yep,
So,
I think it will be.
Yep. Casey, give your numbers one more time real quick before we have to go.
At the main office is 417-865-3912. Our website is www.mycucommunity.com. There we go.
All right.
And look for the Cash Mob later
look
this
for the
evening.
Cash
He
Mob.
gave you a hint. Go to Facebook,
Yeah.
like that, follow these guys.
right.
Look for the green shirts with the big CU Cash Mob on the front. If you find those guys, chase them down and go where they're going. You might get some cash out of them.
You
So
might.
look for that as well.
What a way to start the weekend.
I'm
you
telling you, that would be
Yeah.
great.
Yes,
Thanks
it
again,
would.
Casey, for
Thank
being our
you for
guest
having me,
today.
guys. I appreciate it.
Well, this is Home Repairs and Solutions. We're heard every Friday morning from 10 to 11 right here on AM 560 KWTO.
Repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions.